Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and I'm here with the next part of the video bootcamp series for you. This part is covering 6.0 movement. Now, there is a good section in the rules reference card that summarizes all the different types of movement that are in the game. I've got an example of it on screen for you now. There's also an icon legend on that same player aid that takes and explains what all the different icons mean. I would take and pull that out if you're interested. Look at it while we're going over the different types of movement so you can take and use that as a reference point. Now, we're going to start actually with 6.5, which is coordinated movement, because it's real basic and it's part of what we're going to be covering anyway here. It simply refers to the fact that units in the same hex activating to move on the same impulse are going to move together and end together unless something happens to cause them to become shaken. So as an example, our German leader and our German squad here in this hex located together, if they wanted to conduct a move action, they have to take and start together and end together. So they could move to here, you would take and mark them with a moved marker, and that would be it. Say that the German squad took fire and was shaken back in this hex, then they would stop in that hex instead of continuing on. But the leader could continue on his own. Now, a unshaken, unwounded, unactivated leader can activate units in his hex and adjacent hexes up to his leadership range. Now, what that means, okay, is say our leader activates on his impulse. He could take and activate himself and the units in his hex and the units in the surrounding hex. Say they want to take a move, they could take and move as long as the ones in the hex, the same hexes move together, and this unit could take and move as well, doing whatever move action he wanted to do up to his movement point allowance, and then obviously be marked with a moved marker. Now, their movement points are located in the bottom right of the counter. I've got an example on screen there for you. The leadership is close to the leader's counter. His movement point is close to the bottom right of the counter as well. You can see as an example, our German squad has a 4, the leader has a 6. Now, units that have at least one movement point can always move one hex, no matter the cost, even if they're shaken. But if they're shaken, they can't take and move towards an enemy. So just as an example, let's say this hex costs 10 movement points to enter. It doesn't, but let's say it does. Even though this German squad only has 4 movement points, they could spend their entire impulse to move into that hex. It prevents your units from getting into situations to where they get stuck and can't move. If this unit were shaken, however, adjacent over here to these enemy units, he could not move into this hex as it is closer to the enemy. He would always have to be moving away when he's shaken from the enemy. Now, any unit that moves is going to be subjected to a +1 bonus for an attacker that fires on them when they're conducting a move action. So if they're marked with a moved marker or an assault move marker, they're going to have that +1 bonus to firepower against them, basically signifying that they're being caught in the open as they're moving around.